Althea's Amazing Adventures, the Song of the Timbila, Arrival in Inhamban. The warm breeze of the Indian Ocean carried the scent of the sweet coconut and salty air as Althea stepped onto the golden sands of Inhamban. Bright, colorful fabrics called capulanas danced in the wind like tropical butterflies, worn proudly by the local women. Althea saw her friend Amara. She first met Amara at an international conference for gifted children. They became friends instantly. "Welcome to Mozambique," Amara cheered, holding a small hand-carved mallet. "You are just in time. My grandfather is preparing for the great festival, but we have a big problem. Our village's most sacred voice has gone quiet." The silent Timbila. Althea followed Amara to the heart of the village. The village square was full of energy, but near a central fire, a master Timbila maker, Amara's grandfather, was kneeling, looking very distressed. Before him was a beautiful large Timbila xylophone, its wooden bars meticulously carved from wild sneezewort wood and resting on hollowed calabash gourds. "Look," Amara said, pointing to the base of the gourds. The special beeswax seals around the resonators had dried and cracked under the intense sun, leaving them silent. Without the warm, buzzing vibration the beeswax creates, the instrument had lost its voice. "We cannot have Grand Negodo dance if grandfather's special Timbila cannot sing," Amara explained sadly. "It's the heartbeat of our celebration." Quest for beeswax. Althea knew she had to help. "We must find fresh wild beeswax to fix the Timbila," she said with determination. "If we help your grandfather, we can help the whole village." Amara's grandfather smiled gently at the brave girls. "The path to fresh beeswax is difficult, children. Wild bees make their hives high in the massive baobab trees that guard the sacred groves. You will need courage and patience." The girls nodded, and Amara's grandfather handed them a map. "First, you must seek the honey-guide bird. He is the key to finding the hives, but you must promise to leave a portion of the honeycomb and wax for him as a thank you, or the forest will hide its secrets." The girls promised and set off on their quest. The language of the capulana. As they hiked deeper into the forest, Althea couldn't stop admiring the bright capulana wrapped around Amara's waist. The patterns were so dynamic. "In my culture," Amara explained, noticing Althea's curious gaze, "a capulana is more than just fabric. It's how we tell stories and show respect. My mother gave me this design of sea waves to protect me on my travels near the water." She pointed to the massive baobab trees that surrounded them. "The border of the baobab patterns symbolizes our connection to our ancestors and the deep history of our land. When I wear this, my ancestors are always with me, guiding my steps." Althea realized that stories were told in many ways, and Amara's fabric was a language of its own. Seeking the honey guide. They had hiked for hours, but there was no sign of the wild beehives. The forest was growing quieter. Althea looked at the map again, feeling a little lost. "We need to find the honey guide bird," Amara whispered anxiously. "Without his help, the hives will remain hidden." Althea tried to listen to the sounds of the forest, hoping for a clue. She remembered what the grandfather had said about patience. "Maybe if we call him," she suggested softly. The girls cupped their hands and called out gently, hoping for a reply. They waited, holding their breath, but only the gentle rustling of the leaves answered them. The partners in flight. Just as the girls were about to give up hope, a sudden chattering sound echoed from a high branch. Chirr, chirr, chirr. They looked up and saw a small brown bird with distinctive white outer tail feathers flittering excitedly. "The honey guide!" Amara cheered. "He has found the hive!" The tiny bird didn't waste a second. He took off, darting ahead with precision, calling for the girls to follow. "Wait!" Althea shouted as she scrambled off the log. "We must keep up!" The girls ran after the bird, pushing past giant ferns and large waxy monstera leaves. They realized this was the powerful ecological partnership the grandfather had described. They needed the bird, and the bird needed them. The hive in the baobab. The honey guide bird led them deeper into the forest to a majestic grove of massive baobab trees. The bird chattered wildly, pointing with its beak to a dark hidden crevice high up in the smoothest trunk. "There it is, but it's so high," Althea sighed. The girls looked at the huge baobab trunk and then at the honey guide, who flew to the ground and scratched the earth impatiently. He had done his part. Now it was up to them. "I can climb," Amara said bravely, adjusting her capulana. "You gather some dry leaves and branches to make a smoking torch. The smoke will make the bees sleepy so I can reach the wax." While Althea gathered the materials, Amara used her knowledge to climb the ancient tree, harvesting the beeswax. The girls worked perfectly together. Althea generated a soft cloud of smoke from the torch, directing it upward. High above, the bees became quiet and sleepy. "Okay, Amara," Althea called out carefully to only send up a little smoke. "Now is the time." Amara reached into the crevice and gently removed a small section of beautiful golden honeycomb and a thick chunk of pure, clean beeswax. She was very careful not to take too much. "We have it!" she shouted down joyfully, placing the precious contents into the carved wooden bowl Althea had held ready. The warm morning sun made the beeswax sparkle, full of life. The promise fulfilled. The journey back was filled with happy smiles. As they neared the edge of the Mwinje forest, Althea stopped. "Wait, Amara," she said, remembering the grandfather's words. "The honey guide bird. We cannot leave without fulfilling our promise." Amara nodded, realizing her oversight. They found a large flat stone beneath an old baobab tree and carefully placed a portion of the fresh honeycomb and golden beeswax on it. "Thank you, friend," Althea whispered, and the honey guide flew down instantly, chirping a cheerful thank you song. As the girls walked back to the village, they learned a powerful lesson about partnership, gratitude, and respecting the delicate balance of the forest. Storing the music. Back in the village communal hut, the grandfather's concerned expression turned to absolute joy when he saw the bowl of fresh beeswax. He warmed the golden wax over the central fire, filling the air with a sweet, rich aroma. "You did well, brave children," he said proudly. "Fresh beeswax is flexible and full of life, not dry and silent like before." He meticulously resealed the cracked calabash gourds of the Timbila, carefully pressing the flexible wax around the resonators. When he struck the first wooden bar, a deep, resonant buzzing sound echoed through the hut. Bzzz, bzzz. The Timbila had its voice back. Althea's heart swelled with happiness. They had restored the heartbeat of the village. The dance of harmony. The celebration had finally begun. The village square was a whirlwind of energy, color, and polyrhythm. The Grand Ngodo dance was in full swing, with dozens of dancers moving in perfect unison to the powerful music of the restored Timbila. Althea now wore a vibrant capulana wrapped around her waist, printed with a unique pattern of the honey-guide birds and blooming mwinjay flowers, a gift from Amara's family. The patterns told the story of their brave quest. "Look, Althea!" Amara cheered, dancing past her. Althea smiled, seeing how music, storytelling, and community came together in perfect harmony. She felt incredibly grateful for the adventure and the rich, meaningful lessons Mozambique had taught her. A story written in light. The festival continued long into the sunset. Althea sat with Amara, watching the stars begin to sparkle over the calm Indian Ocean. The warm golden peak volumetric light of the setting sun made the village feel like a dream. "Your journey to Mozambique will be a powerful story, Althea," Amara said softly. "You learn that stories are told in many ways, through fabric, music, and our actions. You are a true storyteller for the forest and for our culture." Althea knew she would always cherish the lessons of the Capulana and the Timbila. She hugged her friend fiercely and began to plan her next amazing adventure.